Why is recycling so important? To answer that question, I ask you to think of yourself for a second. How many times have you bought food or some other product packaged inside of some type of recyclable material? How many times have you purchased something that is put in a plastic or paper bag and in addition you are given a receipt of your purchase? Now that you're thinking of some common encounters with recyclables, think about how many times you've thrown these materials into a garbage can without even giving it a second thought. If this doesn't apply to you, then I would classify you as either a superhuman or possibly not a human at all. But considering we are all human and don't think about our individual actions every second of every day, let's try to understand why these small daily actions hurt us. I intend to leave you with an in-depth understanding of general and specific statistics surrounding recycling and the implications of not recycling such materials. Also, I will explain to you how recycling benefits our environment, our economy, and ourselves. After this speech, it is my hope that you will want to recycle every recyclable you come in contact with from this point on. But first, let's take a look at some general statistics regarding recyclables and the implications of throwing them in the trash. Multiple environmental websites, including greenwaste.com, DoSomething.org, KeepAmericaBeautiful.org, and the environmental website endorsed by Monmouth College, display overlaps in the major statistics surrounding recycling. Each website mentioned that a single individual produces 4.5 pounds of trash daily and 1.5 tons of waste per year. The EPA estimates that 75% of all solid waste is considered recyclable, and only 30% is actually recycled. Also, the estimated sum of recyclables an individual throws in the trash is at a high 63%. Lastly, the current amount of recyclable material in the U.S. waste stream could generate over $7 billion for our economy if recycled. Even though so many recyclables are thrown away each year, the recycling industry still employed over 1.1 million workers and generated over $263 billion in annual revenue in 2001 alone. Now, in order to understand specific recycling functions and their applicatory statistics, we must first define each recyclable. Recyclables include food compost, wood, paper, aluminum, plastic bags, or any type of plastic, glass, steel, and electronics. Using the same websites mentioned prior, greenwaste.com, DoSomething.org, KeepAmericaBeautiful.org, and in the environmental website endorsed by Monmouth College, I will be explaining each recyclable and the implication of disposing of it incorrectly. In terms of food compost, 21.5 million tons of food waste is generated yearly. If this same amount of food waste per year were converted into compost and organic plant fertilizer, for those of you who did not know, instead we would eliminate the amount of greenhouse gases generated by 2 million cars yearly. For wood alone, 25 to 30% of the nation's annual municipal solid waste consists of debris from home construction, remodeling, and demolition projects. Sadly, 50 million homes could be heated for 20 years with the yearly amount of wood and paper disposed of in a landfill. In 2010, Americans threw away enough paper to cover 26,700 football fields or 17,800 soccer fields with paper 3 feet in height. More interestingly, as far as aluminum goes, any single aluminum can that is littered will inhabit the earth for 500 years later. The aluminum cans account for less than 1% of the total U.S. waste stream. Even so, the amount wasted in 2001 is something close to 47 billion aluminum cans, which was equivalent to 16 million barrels of crude oil, enough to meet the electricity needs of homes in Chicago, Dallas, San Francisco, and Seattle. In terms of plastic, less than 1% of all plastic products are recycled in the U.S. yearly. America throws away 25 million plastic beverage bottles every hour. In addition, only 9% of plastic bags, sacks, wraps were recycled in 2009, meaning that 3,470 tons or $694,000 worth of these materials were landfilled in 2009. Also, recycling one plastic bottle has the potential to power a 60-watt light bulb for 3 hours. Like plastic, recycling one glass bottle saves enough energy to light a 100-watt light bulb for 4 hours. In addition, one recycled glass bottle can power a computer for 30 minutes or a television for 20 minutes. Now you see how one individual's action of throwing out a water bottle leads to mass amounts of resourceful materials gone to waste each year. This behavior that we have surrounding recyclables, by not even giving a second thought to throwing one in the trash, leads to terrible implications for our environment, our economy, and most importantly, ourselves. In terms of our environment, recycling minimizes pollution, especially from burning garbage, as stated by Virgin.com. Burning garbage releases harmful carcinogens into the air, negatively impacting our ozone. In addition, the gas that it produces can lead to respiratory diseases, but not restricted to allergies and asthma. More garbage and recyclables pollute our oceans as each day go by. This thus continually severely affecting all forms of marine life and resources alike. Not only will recycling minimize pollution, but it also will help preserve our natural resources. RecycleMore.ie states that recycling reduces the amount of natural resources needed to make products and packaging. And in terms of our economy, recycling can be both profitable and create more green jobs in America. According to large.stanford.edu, the average cost of picking up and transporting recyclables can range from $20 to $70 per ton. But the average mix of recyclables collected by a homeowner is estimated to be around worth $125 per ton, making the practice profitable when recycling programs are utilized. In addition, more recycling means more recycling jobs. Waste360.com shows that in Delaware, Maine, Massachusetts, New York, and Pennsylvania alone, recycling provides more than 104,000 people with employment. If we increase recycling statewide and ultimately countrywide, tens of thousands of jobs can be created, which will aid in stimulating the economy. The only counter viewpoint to profitability is that landfilling at its surface appears to be much cheaper than recycling. Large.stanford.edu shows that landfilling requires less money to be spent on energy used by machines and human labor. It is for this reason that Mayor Michael Bloomberg put a memorandum on recycling programs in New York City in 2002. And for those 18 months, it was estimated that the city saved $57 million. The reason New York saved money by landfilling recyclables is because recycling as a practice was not adopted wholly enough in the city. Therefore, most recyclables ended up in the trash anyway, and there was no need for recycling programs that wasted the city's tax revenue. So this, right now, is why we need each other. This is why we all have to collectively and intuitively recycle as much as we can and whenever we can. It is up to us to lower these high statistics surrounding recyclables, resources wasted. It is up to each and every single person to save our environment, our economy, and ultimately ourselves through the use and promotion of recycling. Now, I know I cannot force you to recycle, but hopefully what I've told you will change your mind the next time you go to throw a water bottle out, toss an aluminum can on the ground, or crumple up a piece of paper and try to make it like Mike using a garbage can as your basketball net. One additional recyclable disposed of properly by every single one of us can change our lives for the better. So I hope you join me in making our lives and our world a better place for the long run by recycling.